Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Public hospitals to go into emergency mode starting tomorrow. All elective surgeries postponed. National Security Minister hints at more zones of special operations for Westmoreland. Later in sports, eligibility problems could rule Mona High out of Issa Walker Cup finals. I'm Anthony Lugg. Here are the details. Up first this afternoon, all of the island's public hospitals will go into emergency mode tomorrow as they faced increased pressure due to the growing number of confirmed and suspected COVID-19 cases. The Ministry of Health says the restriction will result in the postponement of elective cases. There's also decreased staff coverage as many healthcare workers are out sick. Up to Sunday, there were some 682 persons in hospital isolation for COVID-19. Of that number, 486 were positive and another 196 suspected. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says persons should exercise discretion in going to hospitals at this time. The fourth wave of the coronavirus is affecting policing in Manchester at a time when crime is on the rise, particularly robberies and break-ins. Krista Campbell has more.
Police out on isolation and quarantine while criminals run amok in Manchester. Head of the Manchester Police, Superintendent Lloyd Darby, told the municipal corporation it's a concern, especially with more major crimes committed last year over the previous year. Rape accounted for the largest increase, jumping from 9 in 2020 to 21 in 2021. The police are particularly concerned about robberies, which climbed from 74 the previous year to 99 last year, and break-ins, which accounted for 177 of the 444 major crimes committed in 2021.
Robberies that we saw for 2021. 28 of them happened at homes. 45 of the robberies happened while persons were on the road. On the road or just returning home. At the bars, we saw 11 robberies being committed. At shops or stores, 10 robberies.
And thieves are also targeting motor vehicles, which is why Superintendent Darby wants persons to spend a little extra to secure their property.
The swiftness with which the perpetrators were able to move the people's vehicle is as if they had a key on some sophisticated system that disables the alarm, and the vehicles were stolen. We were able to recover 34 stolen vehicles at Galahad, and we just continue to enroll people too. Some of the vehicles recovered, we were able to recover them through tracking devices. And that is a good method to protect your vehicle.
Now, murders remained at 33 in 2021, but just 2 weeks into the new year, he's worried about a repeat of last year's crime trend. Already there have been 2 murders and a few robberies in the Porous and Alligator Pond police divisions, where residents complain that rising crimes are affecting livelihood as businesses now have to close by as early as 5 p.m. Krista Campbell, TVJ News.
Still on crime, Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says more zones of special operations could be declared in more communities in Westmoreland. Crime has been wreaking havoc in the parish since late last year and into the new year. Over 70 murders since the start of the year. 9 alone in Westmoreland, including 4 double murders. Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang says more zones of special operations are in motion to help stem the high level of crime in the parish.
The planning for the activities such as zones will take a little while, but not long. Has been going on to look at which district might be amenable to that kind of intervention, and we have to put the resources and the police, both human and monetary, in place to intervene very quickly because we are not allowing this thing to get out of hand as it did last year. So, forgive me, as Louis' early days, yes, it will be here soon.
As part of the government's push to improve the services of the police, Dr. Chang says a brand new police headquarters will be built in Westmoreland.
We have designed and we're going to tender to build a new police divisional headquarters, which could house one division at Landilo. At station will cost about just over $2 billion, We are committed to it, and I said it's gone to contracting and being evaluated as we speak and should be able to begin before the end of the year.
Dr. Chang, who was speaking at a community town hall meeting in Westmoreland, added that 2 new police stations will also be built, one in Little London and the other in Frome.
We have a habit of just taking the policemen and put them in a building and say work. And a police station has to become a center of service for the community, and therefore police can have greater interaction with the community and get the information that they win the trust of the people and work with them and help to not only win trust, stop crime, but we begin to know the people with problems. We opened the Domestic Violence Center in Santa Cruz.
We go now to St. Mary. Despite a decline in major crimes for 2021, the police are still trying to get a grip on murders within the parish. Commanding officer for the St. Mary Police, Superintendent Bobette Morgan Simpson, provided the update at the latest municipal corporation meeting.
Some 27 murders were committed in St. Mary for the year ending December 31, 2021, a reduction of 3 compared to the previous year, but it's still a concern for the police. Addressing the latest meeting of the St. Mary Municipal Corporation last week, the commanding officer noted that communities which were not previously prone to violence are now recording almost double-digit murders.
Anatobe gave us 10 of the 27 murders that took place in 2021. And the Enfield community accounted for 6. Richmond, and the previous year was a similar situation with Anatobe, it was 9 in 2020. And for Richmond had no murders in 2020. However, Richmond racked up 5.
Despite those numbers, the head of the police in the parish hastened to note that other major crimes declined by 48 over the corresponding period.
And for shootings, we had 18 shootings for 2021. For 2020, we had 18. Rapes, we had a big reduction in terms of rape. We had 5 rape, and in 2020 we actually had 31. So that's a big reduction.
She also noted that there was an improvement in the clear-up rate of 63% last year. In the meantime, she's calling for the hierarchy of the Jamaica Constabulary Force to assist the parish with police personnel.
We can never get rid of crime and violence, but we hope we can keep it at a tolerable level in the parish. I am hoping dearly that we will get some additional staff. We have lost a number of members of staff to retirement, to resignation. Sometimes when you see, sometimes you will see just a lot of young police out there, and then you say, oh, St. Mary, you have a lot of police. We're actually a training division, so a lot of those are really trainees that we're training to. So they spend a little time at the police college, they come to us, we give them the on-the-job training, to include the classroom training as well. And then they go back to the NPCJ, they graduate, and sometimes we don't get any.
The police in St. Elizabeth have their hands full in treating with domestic violence cases in the parish. Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson says since the Domestic Violence Center was set up 2 months ago in Santa Cruz, they have had some 75 cases. However, Major General Anderson says the police are relentless in their efforts to solving these issues because it escalates.
What that means is the potential of those 75 disputes ending up with violent crime is very high. And so it's important that we continue to do all of these other things, even as we deploy the tools we have into the spaces where those people most intend on doing violent crime on. So it's a broad-based approach to what we're dealing with. And yes, we'll have spikes, and we will bring them back down.
It's time now for a break, but stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to Midday News, and thanks for staying with us. Residents of Ensom City and Gordontown in St. Catherine are appealing to their political representative for urgent assistance to fix a breakaway in their community to prevent loss of lives. Sandy Williams tells us more.
Residents of 2 communities standing in solidarity to air their concerns. This breakaway along a section of the main road, which connects the Ensom City and Gordontown communities in St. Catherine, is the source of their problem. They claim lives are at risk, especially children who have to pass the breakaway to and from face-to-face classes.
I had grandkids that go to school. When the rain fall, the whole place flood. No car, no nothing can't pass. Kids them a come from school, car, travel fast. Sometimes the people them not have no banking for going on. Look at this. This start from a little hole. So till the Rasta man, it a broke out, and the Rasta man get the stone and do him for do an edges that it can kind of look safe. But it's still not safe. It's very dangerous.
To make matters worse, the Riocoba runs parallel to the breakaway, which is contributing to the fast erosion underneath the road.
So if attention don't pay to this right now, look more from now we have no road. The kids them can't come from school, can't lick them down. You understand me? Worse when the rain start fall. When the rain start fall, I have to stop vehicle from down the bottom to turn them back, tell them that they cannot come up this side.
They are appealing to their political representative for urgent assistance to fix the road.
We are asking for the Member of Parliament attention right now. This is emergency. This cannot stay for not even 3 days. This needed to fix now. Look on the bridge. It is if we have strong rain to fall, look, the breaking out. This is not good for the community, for children.
We contacted Member of Parliament for St. Catherine Central, Olivia Grange, for a response. We were told to send a message via WhatsApp to her cell phone, which we did. However, up to news time, there was no response. Sandy Williams, TVJ News.
For a second day, residents and taxi operators in St. Mary staged a protest for better road conditions. Some residents were prevented from going to work or conducting business when taxi operators who ply the Guys Hill to Highgate route withdrew their service and blocked the roads with trees. According to taxi operators, they have still not seen the representative for the area.
They are driving a day by day. I am a taxi operator. I will need somebody to come represent me, like today, or else next year we still go out there.
This staging will go on for weeks and weeks until we get somebody to come and address our plight. We cannot able to drive on this road, on this river stream anymore, because we are not fish. We are not shrimps and we are not perches and we are not mullets, we are people. So somebody please come and address us.
Police later arrived and removed the debris to allow a free flow of traffic. And for the latest in the economy, here's Cody at Barrett with the Business Minute.
Regional company Massey Holdings has confirmed that it will cross-list its shares on the Jamaica Stock Exchange JSE on January 27. Massey published an abridged statement on the JSE website last Friday in accordance with the listing requirements. Massey described itself as an investment management holding company engaged in three main industry portfolios: integrated retail, motors and machines, and gas products in Trinidad and Tobago and the wider Caribbean. Massey will list on the JSE the 98.9 million shares that form its issued share capital. $200 million will be invested in international tourism giant Grupo Pinero's Bahia resorts in Dominican Republic and Jamaica. This as the tourism sector moves to form a strategic alliance between Grupo Pinero, Inter-American Development Bank, IDB Group private sector arm, IDB Invest, and Banco Popular Dominicano to promote inclusive and sustainable economic growth through tourism. The funding will assist Grupo Pinero in moving forward with the reopening and startup of Jamaican hotels, as well as provide a boost in this stage of recovery and post-pandemic growth. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Cody Ann Barrett.
And it's time now for the top regional and international stories with Sandy Williams.
In the region, High Court Judge Madam Justice Cicely Chase is expected to hear later on Tuesday an injunction filed by a member of the small opposition Barbados Sovereignty Party (BSB) seeking to stop Wednesday's general election on the grounds that more than 5,000 COVID-19 patients are being denied their constitutional right to vote. The injunction by Philip Catlin against President Dame Sandra Mason and the Attorney General Dale Marshall claims that the exclusion of COVID-19 positive citizens from the election breaches Section 6 of the Representation of the People Act, which enshrines the right of eligible residents and citizens to vote. He is also arguing that Dame Sandra, who was sworn in as President of Barbados last November, was unreasonably exercising her discretionary powers by accepting Prime Minister Mia Mottley's election call on December 27. On the international scene, the U.S. Secretary of State will head to Ukraine this week as the country faces its latest Russian threat. This as U.S. intelligence suggests Russia is preparing to invade the country and has thousands of its troops on the Ukrainian border. According to the State Department, Secretary Antony Blinken will meet with Ukraine's president and foreign minister to affirm America's commitment to Ukraine during the trip. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Sandy Williams.
And we head now to a quick break. When we return, we'll have your midday sports report. Renata Brown is standing by.
Welcome back. It's now time for your midday sports. Now, Kingston Technical's fairy tale season could have another chapter. TVJ Sports understands that Mona High School could be removed from the final of the Issa Walker Cup due to the use of two ineligible players in their semi-final game. TVJ Sports understands that Mona had used two players who were on card suspensions in their 5-0 semi-final win over Kingston Technical last Friday. It means Kingston Technical, who surprised many by reaching the quarterfinal of the Manning Cup, could be promoted to the final, where they will meet defending champion St. Catherine High. TVJ Sports also understands that Mona High will be appealing the decision from Issa. Waterhouse's Ricardo Thomas has been called up as a replacement in the Reggae Boy squad for Thursday's friendly international against Peru in Lima. Thomas has been added following the withdrawal of two players and an official from the delegation due to positive COVID-19 results prior to the team's departure on Monday. He left the island this morning. Thursday's match kicks off at 8 o'clock Jamaica time. The match will serve as the only practice match for Reggae Boys head coach Paul Hall ahead of the team's World Cup qualifier against Mexico at home on January 27. They will then play Panama away on January 30 before returning home to play Costa Rica on February 2. The semifinals of the Issa Ben Francis Cup takes place this afternoon with a doubleheader at St. Elizabeth Technical High School. Edwin Allen will battle Manchester High in their first semifinal at 1 p.m. before Stets face off with Froome Technical at 3 p.m. This will be the second clash this season between Stets and Froome, as the teams met at the quarterfinal stage of the DaCosta Cup when Stets ran out 6-0 winners. More football. Harbourview will be without Okwasa Chong for their opening game of the 2021-22 Jamaica Premier League season after the attacker was called up to the Reggae Boy squad for their friendly international against Peru on Thursday. Chong, who was the team's leading marksman last season, left the island on Monday as one of several local-based players looking to impress new Reggae Boys head coach Paul Hall. Harbourview will kickstart their campaign today at the Captain Horace Burrell Centre of Excellence against Malines United, with the game set to start at 1 p.m. In the second game of the doubleheader, last year's semi-finalist Mount Pleasant Academy will play Humble Iron at 3:15. Kyrie Irving will not change his mind and get vaccinated against COVID-19 despite an injury to fellow Brooklyn Nets player Kevin Durant. 29-year-old Irving cannot play in the Nets' home games because of New York's ban on unvaccinated people in indoor venues. A knee ligament injury has sidelined Durant for a month or more, weakening the Nets' star-studded squad. Irving, a 7-time All-Star, also cannot play in the Nets' away matches against local rivals, the New York Knicks or the Toronto Raptors. And finally, Britain's Emma Raducanu showed quality and resilience to beat American Sloane Stephens in 3 sets for a spot in the Australian Open second round. On her senior debut in Melbourne, the US Open champion won 6-love, 2-6, 6-1 against Stephens, another previous winner in New York. Former finalist Petra Kvitova suffered a painful first-round defeat by Serena Christie on the second day. Czech Kvitova was beaten 6-2, 6-2 in just 72 minutes. U.S. Open runner-up Leila Fernandez also lost on Tuesday, while second seed Aryna Sabalenka fought back to advance. Simona Halep, runner-up in 2018, continued her good form with a 6-4, 6-3 win over Poland's Magdalena Fench, while third seed Garbied Muguruza also advanced after beating rising French star Clara Bourret 6-3, 6-4. However, 2016 champion Angelique Kerber fell in the first round for the second year in a row. And that's it for your Midday Sports Report. It's back to you, Anthony.
Thank you very much, Renardo. And that's where we leave you this afternoon for the Midday News. I'm Anthony Lugg. Join us at 7 for Primetime News. On behalf of the news, sports, and production teams, good afternoon.